Welcome back, everyone. When you talk about a mad rush for the border, that is absolutely true. Our border correspondent, Oscar Ramirez, captured this in Mexico, this group on its way to the United States.
Another caravan has left the south border of Tapachula, Chiapas. Around 1,000 migrants, the majority of the entity of Venezuela, left this morning on their intention to arrive to the north borders that connect to the United States of America. In the essence, to arrive to the United States before Donald Trump becomes president on January 20th.
See, they know the border gets shut down. They also know President Trump will enact his large-scale deportation action, the largest, I think, in American history. Now, the left wants to tell us that's going to be bad for the economy. It's going to be bad for our industries around America. Here's Robert Reich saying just that.
And the cost of the deportation itself is hard to fathom. Estimates range from $40 billion to $600 billion. And don't forget the lost tax revenue. Undocumented immigrants pay roughly $12 billion a year in taxes, much of it going to programs they themselves can't benefit from because of their undocumented status, like Social Security.
Okay. I'm going to call bullcorn on all of that. And one reason why I do that is because I trust the man I'm about to bring on, and he runs the numbers on all of this stuff. He's the president of the Crime Prevention Research Center. Dr. John Lott is with us. John, it is good to see you. Welcome back, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Grant. Thanks for having me on.
All right, what do you say to Robert Reich there?
You know, it's pretty comical, these numbers on the costs of deporting these illegal aliens. He's basing it on a report from the American Immigration Council. They claim that it costs about $88,000 per deportee. About 3/4 of their estimate comes from what they call the cost of detaining people, actually housing them once they've been caught. And you know, it's just comical how they put these numbers together. So, for example, they assume if you deport 1 million people over the course of the year, you're going to have 1 million beds in order and facility to house 1 million people. The problem is you don't keep 1 million people for a year. Even their own estimates, which I think are high, indicate that on average, the average deportee will be detained for 2 months. Most likely, it's much less than that. But if you have 1 million over a course of a year, you only have 167,000 at any one point in time on average. And so that's
John,
one thing.
The local La Quinta down the street might only take, 5,000 guests over the course of the year, but you don't need 5,000 beds. They're coming into the hotel. They're leaving the hotel. They're coming back and forth. It's ridiculous.
No, I agree. And then on top of that, they assume that all the facilities need to be rebuilt again each year. So, and then another way that they do this is just the daily cost for food and other incidentals for the people. So, for example, for a family of 4, they're claiming that those costs are about $500 a day, almost $500 a day. I don't know what type of food that they're going to be giving them. I probably want to sign up for the food myself if they're spending that much on it.
Do they take into account the money that will be saved? You look at New York, they say they're spending $100,000 on an illegal immigrant to house them and do all health care, the drain on our educational system. I have to believe it will be billions upon billions our nation will save by deporting illegals.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, you're exactly right. They don't count that at all. They're just looking at the cost side, and they're tremendously exaggerating. Look, if you look over the last decade and look at how much we've spent to deport illegals and divide it by the number of illegals that we've deported, rather than about 88,000, you're talking about something that's about $9,000 to $12,000 per deportee. That's a huge difference there. And even that's probably an overestimate. And the reason is because it's including some customs costs and other things that aren't directly related to the deportees. And on top of that, when you look over time, the years that have the most deportees actually have the lower cost per deportee. There seems to be some what they'd call economies of scale, when you're deporting a large number of people there. So even those numbers are likely to end up being high. But rather than relying on people just guessing and filling in their own assumptions that are there, let's look to see what the costs have been in the past.
John, last question for you, because I think this is what everybody cares about at home. You've studied this issue. So when you look at the cost to deport them versus the cost to bring them here and have them, flourish basically here in the United States, is it a net benefit to the citizens of the United States to deport the people that are here illegally than it is to just allow them to live here?
Oh, I don't even think it's close. I mean, you have different categories of illegals that are here. You have people that have committed crimes, violent crimes, that while they're here. You may have like 662,000 that at least the Biden administration is acknowledging fall into that category. If you look at the most conservative estimate of their crimes, you're talking about something that's about $166 billion for the victimization costs. The cost of deporting 600,000 people is going to be about $6 billion. It's $166 billion in victim costs, greater than $6 billion to deport them. Yeah, I mean, it's not even close.
This is why I bring you on the program, because you can't argue with the numbers, and especially numbers that are presented honestly, as opposed to the numbers they present, which is completely dishonestly. Dr. John Lott, Crime Prevention Research Center, I always appreciate you. I urge everyone to check you out. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for being there, Grant.
Absolutely. Same goes right back to you.